We are here with Bernardo Oliveira, now in China. Bernardo, it happens that is my brother, and it's very important to hear now the opinion for someone from someone that is right now in China. Where are you right now, Bernardo?
Hi, Ricardo. So I am in Shenzhen. Is a city on top of Hong Kong, so on the South China, right in the border, and has around 20 million people. And I've been here already for 2 months since the lockdown began, and I lived here in Shenzhen for already 8 years.
8 years. Okay. Is the quarantine over now?
So things in China are getting back to normal. Most companies are asking their employees to return to the offices. Factories are back to work. And you see more people in the streets, although there are still a lot of preventive measures active as of today. So it is still mandatory for everyone to walk on the street to wear a face mask. And all areas where people might gather, like shopping centers, supermarkets, and all the residential compounds, they have security guards that take your temperature to control if people have a fever or not. But people can move around. Most restaurants are back open now, and they allow for in-dining service.
How is the mobility in the city? Can you move in public transportation? Can you move in Uber cars?
Okay, so when the lockdown was enforced, they shut down the metro for a couple of weeks, and it is back open now, as well as buses, transportations. People were always authorized to use their cars individually, and taxis have been working at full capacity since the very beginning. So if people need to go do grocery shopping or go somewhere, they can always take a taxi. Most taxis even, they put up a protective screen to separate the driver from the passengers to prevent the passage of any germs. And the applications of car sharings like Uber that doesn't exist in China is called Didi, has been working normally since the beginning, and it is quite easy to call any taxi using that application.
So those transportation, the vehicles never stopped during the lockdown. You have had always circulation.
Yeah, never stopped. The taxis have been working at full capacity since the beginning.
Okay, is the retail but beginning to open? Is shopping you do shopping the same way that you've done before?
Okay, so I arrived back in China around February 8th. So this was right in the middle of the big issues in China. I was away due to Chinese New Year. And when I came back, on the next day after returning, I wanted to go to the supermarket and the retailers to buy groceries. So I called a taxi using the local Didi, and once I arrived to the shopping center, they took my temperature at the entrance of the shopping center. I arrived to the supermarket, they took my temperature again, and I was a little bit worried about there could be a lack of food or amenities, but it was actually completely full. So the supermarkets are open. They just control your temperature right away. So this is one option to do your shopping. The other one is to do the online shopping. So in China, there are several applications that allow you to do online shopping, some specific to stores like Carrefour or even restaurants. Some are more general, where you can select the shopping that you want, or even the restaurant, and you add the things that you want into your online basket. You pay, and then they make the delivery within 1 or 2 hours. So just like the taxi service was at full capacity since the beginning as well, the delivery guys have been at full capacity since the beginning of the lockdown. So they deliver the goods to the entrance of your compound. They don't allow anyone to get in to any residential compound that doesn't live there. And you have to go downstairs and pick it up. So it has been working quite well.
Okay. Do you know anything about car retailers, automotive?
It's not my area of expertise, but I can tell you is that right now most retailers, most shops, everything is completely open and operating as normal as will be, except that they just control the temperature of people getting in every shop, and everyone has to wear masks. I know that most factories are back to work. Although some factories, not sure if automotive related or not, they changed a little bit of the production to manufacture medical supplies, although still continuing on their default products, but opened up lines to manufacture medical supplies for both China and outside.
So finally, how are companies facing this challenge? What is this changing your daily life nowadays?
Well, the beginning was a little bit rough because the virus pandemic hit here right during the Chinese New Year. And during that time, most companies, they lock down, they close for Chinese New Year holidays that last around 10 days. So the government extended those holidays other 10 days. And at the time, Europe was working at full capacity, and obviously they purchased a lot from Chinese manufacturers, and they were all pushing to get new orders and new prices and information. So when they started getting back to work, it was a very slow start. A lot of the companies asked their employees to work from home for 2 weeks once they opened, and only after that quarantine period finished, they started going to the office. So things are a little bit slow in that sense. There is a lot of factories already resuming production, but they are still not at full capacity, because some of the workers still didn't return, and it's always a transition period after the Chinese New Year to hire more workers for the factories. So things are a little bit slow. Now, in terms of economy-wise, in terms of the companies, it is going to be challenging, not because they were locked down for 10 or 20 days more. It is going to be challenging because Europe and US and the whole world that buys from them is not buying from them right now, and there is going to be a shortage of demand in the next couple of weeks. So we will see how it goes. I know that the China government put up a lot of money to help companies that might be struggling in these days, but since this is the factory of the world, we have to see how all the other customers are going to do and what is their purchasing power once this pandemic is over.
So even so, it was encouraging to talk with you, to see that things are moving. Of course, that the rest of the world is stopping and China will have the consequences of this, but it's encouraging to see how this great country is recuperating and moving on. So thank you very much, Bernardo. We will repeat this video some days forward. Thank you very much. It was very informative, and thank you. Thank you for your collaboration. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.